What the fuck?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Consortium Interregnum. Yeah.
Yay!
Woo!
You guys remember what happened last time?
Oh,
We missed a
God.
couple weeks.
Yeah. It feels like we're playing this once a month sometimes.
What was the thing that happened again? Could you refresh us?
Y'all went to...
That's right, George died. Kinda.
Yeah.
I guess. Maybe. They got shot.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Died in the game, died in real life.
And we were upset, but more confused.
Very confused.
That was it. You just got shot once with a weird bullet. This don't make sense. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Something ain't right.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
So,
Do you remember where you were left off?
When I died, I went to the line, and apparently they had a special, I guess, accommodations for this one group and wanted to see me. And it turns out it was George's former crew, even though they're dead, and managed to get an assassin from beyond the grave to kill George via
they hired an
slang
assassin from beyond the grave.
from beyond the grave. And they managed to kill, and they killed George, and I'm forgetting what exactly was the dumb reason they brought back George. So
you brought up your embezzlement of their funds, and they were very surprised to hear this. They were very upset because you removed Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
all we had was fish, and I had a fish allergy at the time.
George being a pirate with a fish allergy is really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, and didn't they die because they had Taco Tuesday so often they ran out of food on the high seas?
Yeah.
It is also implied that they died because they mismanaged their food by going too hard on Taco Tuesday.
Yeah. As you do.
The hubris of man.
Yeah.
And George at this point, and George is at this point pissed and very much like went full on Arrow Flynn and it went unguard.
An unguard occurred. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where we left off for the most part.
If you kill a ghost in the line, what would happen?
Yeah.
Would they just cease to be?
You'll have to wait and find out.
Can ghosts die in the line? Question mark?
We'll see.
So if I do remember, there were two individuals that went in after you. George doesn't know this yet, but the rest of the party does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was
That's
Blair
right.
and
We sent Blair and
Basil.
Blair and
Basil.
Basil. You know, doing a little. If you watch the recent Dawn to Dawn, it'll really be poignant. Episode 7, guys. Anyway.
No.
Actually, no. I'm thinking a different arc of Dawn to Dawn.
Yeah, no spoilers.
This actually has nothing to do with the recent episode we watched of Dawn to Dawn. I'm thinking of the manga. Anyway, continue.
What we're going to do today is we're actually going to start with those who were left behind. Hashtag movie with Nick Cage that came out 10 years ago about the Rapture.
Oh my god.
How relevant.
So, Blair and Basil have been sent off. It's you, and the Pope is there, and the leader of the Science Directorate is there. There have been like a couple of other staff members moving in and out, but right now it's just the four of you. And so this is an opportunity for the two of you to maybe ask them, like, what's next step? Is there anything else that you can do? Or maybe even just ask them something unrelated. Maybe you've sent your friends off. You know they're going to be able to handle it, and now you may want to ask them about other things in the future.
So, what's next? Do we just wait? I know Basil and Blair are a little are they dead or are they in altered state? What's the deal here?
The Pope turns to you and says, "Well, we're a little bit off script, but if you die in the line and you are alive, you just go back to the line. So as long as they don't die there, we should be able to pull them back without any issue. And once they get George out of whatever he's dealing with, I'll be able to resurrect him back into this body."
So what happens if George dies in the line? I never really thought about that.
He says, "Well, we don't really have records of that happening. So maybe he can't. Maybe he's just going to be tortured for all eternity if we don't pull him out by whatever's up there. Because maybe you can't die again." He says, "Or maybe you just cease to exist."
I've just...
there's some conflicting theological trains of thought about what happens with that. He says there is something that prevents you from just trying to destroy yourself in the line, because then that would be you getting out of the line, and they don't like that.
That's I've never really thought about this. My own mortality and what it would mean if my afterlife mortality.
Yeah.
He says, "Well, I mean, you can always try and get in one god's good favor and hope they pluck you out of the line. I wouldn't say that happens often, if ever, but, people talk about it happening."
What if, if it's mostly conjecture, but this is a theory I'm just tossing out there. What if you're just, put in a different, you have to wait again in the line, you have to start over?
He says, "Well, I mean, I guess the good news is that he wouldn't have been there very long, so...
Yeah, I guess there's not much to
he says,
relive.
He says, really the only reason why this works is because we, kind of had an anchor in George, and that, whatever's preventing him allowed us to kind of get him close. Sending people into the line for study isn't something that we usually do. It usually ends pretty badly."
Yeah,
I'm sure your friends will be...
I swear if they're not coming out, I'm gonna pull them back out myself. I'll wait for him. I'll trust him.
You just die of old age. That's all you wait for them.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
and you
like
look
a dog
back
from
around.
Futurama.
Yeah.
I come back and Cinna's petrified. Petrified remains. Oh.
But yeah, so the leader of the science directorate walks over to the two of you and says, "On my way over, you guys are asking me something. Something about like people being fused with either Vathi.
Well, yeah, we did
You want
say
to
that.
elaborate more on that?"
Yeah, I was.
Oh, Luna, you go ahead. You got more detail on this than I do.
About people being fused. Yeah, no, we got the very disturbing video of someone being.
That's.
Oh, that's a
That's
different
not
thing.
what they're
That's,
talking about. That's not
Oh.
what
they're
they're
talking about your dad.
Oh, about my dad. Yeah, there's. Do you
I mean,
know?
you can talk about that other one if you want.
Was that one we were
Yeah.
gonna keep to
So
ourselves?
that's not.
and
That
try
has
to...
nothing to do with either Vathi though. He was just simic hybrided.
We were going to talk about that one with her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the sake of what they were.
So, yeah, no, my dad was a part. I don't know if he was on the science council or anything like that. But apparently he went missing while working here. And when we tried to locate his soul, like his essence, it just gave the entirety of Aetherdathi. I'm not saying my dad is this, but he might have got mixed with some elder god gunk or whatever, gobbledygook, and now he's being processed through the nerves of this fucking dead old god.
As you're explaining this, she kind of, stays quiet. She doesn't really say anything. You can tell, like, her brow kind of furrows. And she asks a couple of questions about, like, how you came by this information, some, like, specifics. And do you fill her in, or do you not want to tell her about, like, your grandfather or anything like that?
I'm from the dream world. I have connections there.
Okay, and so you say that you got them through that. Um, and uh, and she says, "Oh, okay, so it's possible then your father may not have been here recently. It might have been a long time ago. Is that correct?"
Yeah.
Because that may explain why we've been unable to find him. So she pulls out a sending slate and she taps some information in, and she says, "I'll have some people look through some of our older information to see if anything pops up. Before the, it sounds like it was almost definitely before the Civil War. We have a lot of records about what was going on before then, but we haven't gone through all of them. So maybe it'll ping something up. Maybe it'll just be that we'll need to keep looking through those records." She says a lot of it isn't very good. Some of the experiments the previous king was doing were quite horrific. And we'll need to see what we can find.
No, agreed. I guess the other question for you. We got the hints very briefly before the evidence exploded. Someone being forced into Simic without without their consent and without them being a human, like a human elf or Veldalkin.
Well, what race were they?
Illithid, which if he like briefly mentioned, like, I don't know, their whole life cycle, but don't they have to be like a person first and then they morph into another person? I don't know the lore.
She says, yeah, there's been a couple of instances of people who were simic hybrids being turned into illithids, but nothing
But not
particularly in the reverse.
okay.
Um, she says, are you, did it, like was this in like an official location, or did it look like somebody had created something off-site?
Um, it was a little.
It looked like it was like just like smashed together, right? It looked.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was like a full, like professionally built thing.
It wasn't from what we saw before. I mean, as a character, it wasn't. It didn't look like the. Haven't we seen the Simic hybrid like machine in the capital before?
Yeah, we've seen one. I thought. Yeah.
Did it look like that one then? Like
I thought it
specifically, like,
looked.
did it look like that same
heavily
location or
modified.
no?
It looked heavily modified. Okay.
Oh, okay.
She starts asking a couple of questions about specifically what it looks like, and you give it to the best of your memory, and eventually she's like, well, it doesn't sound like it would work. Based off of the description, it seems like the machine's broken. Do you tell her that it was the Inquisitor that was doing it?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
She says, well, that madman is always doing stuff. Maybe he was just killing the illithid, for some reason. Maybe he was doing some sort of experiment.
Yeah. We're not sure how successful it's going to be.
She says, based off of the description, it's almost guaranteed that he's probably somewhere in the capital. Because that's really the only place that you can get those machines. Although I guess technically for him, maybe he would have sent it somewhere else. But we'll do some look around, see if we can find missing parts that match some of those descriptions, and see if we can get on his trail and figure out what he's doing. Because of illithid biology, turning one of those into a simic hybrid should be functionally impossible, she says. We found that many races can become simic hybrids that we didn't think before. But it's like you said, illithids are created from a base race, and they kind of overpower everything. So if you take a simic hybrid and you turn them into an illithid, they wouldn't be a simic hybrid illithid, they would just be an illithid. So bringing it back and having it be a like switching it back, I don't think that would necessarily work. She says, although this illithid friend of yours, he was solo. He wasn't connected to like a hive mind, right?
Yeah, he was on his
As
own.
far as you're aware.
Yeah.
As far as we were aware.
Maybe he thought that it would work on someone who was not connected to a hive mind. Theoretically, if someone were to discover like a way for a new person to become a simic hybrid, that would probably be pretty big news and would, generate support. Like, if you guys were to figure out how to turn someone who couldn't normally be a simic hybrid into a simic hybrid, then that would really help the case that Bubbles is supposed to be the next monarch, because now more, the Aethervathy is more stronger, it's doing more things. So maybe that's what he was trying to do. And if that's the case, and if he is successful, you may want to have one of your own ways to do that.
Hmm.
He says, have either of you thought about trying to become a Simic hybrid?
No,
I mean,
not
having more
really.
arms would be cool, but I don't
Says,
know.
well, unfortunately, you can't really control the transformation.
Is it that
Yeah.
you don't know how to control it, or is it that uh it can't be?
Because I like to believe that it's I don't know how. Um, and then the Pope steps in and is like, well, it's the will of Aethervathy that determines this, he says. And you can't go against the will. And you kind of get that there's like a little bit of tension over this, and the room kind of comes out.
Mm.
And he says, well, why don't you guys ask your friend George? I mean, his body's here. Usually, reborn can't, go through that process. But if we're rebuilding his, putting it back in, what if we chuck him in one of those vats? See what came out.
I'd rather do that with his consent when we bring him back.
Yeah.
He says, well, we can always ask him.
Can we ask him right now? I thought we couldn't really talk to him.
Well, what I'd have to do is cast, once everything's broken and we can bring him back, I just cast Speak with Dead on him, and he should pop up and answer 3 questions.
I mean, if we bring him back, wouldn't he just be able to speak?
Well, yeah, but then he'd be fully a reborn again, and it might not work. The science directorate does speak up, and she says, it has been known that if you put a humanoid body in that would normally be able to turn after they've already passed, they do absorb traits. So theoretically, this could work. It's never been tried, and it may not end up working anyway, but even if it doesn't work, it shouldn't cause him any harm.
It'd be a fun experience for all the family.
So at this point, we're gonna pivot to a hashtag isekai group, and so Basil and Blair, you're outside of what did I say it was? Was it a Waffle House or a Denny's?
There's a Denny's.
It was a Denny's. Perfect. So you're outside of Denny's. You see shadows just start to like dim a bunch of the lights on the inside.
Oh. Somehow.
There's a line of people going like out of the door and then like around the parking lot.
Very, very interesting. We could
Can I add-
go otherwise, but I feel like we'll regret it horribly.
Can I
What were you gonna say, Awesome?
I was gonna, if you want to set, I was gonna do a dumb thing. I was gonna say a dumb thing. You then proceed to see a ghost pirate being thrown through a window, like DJ Jazzy Jeff. Go ah! And while
See, what I was thinking that you were gonna say was that it was George that was thrown through the window. And so if you want to say that happens, I'll allow it.
You know what? You know what? Fair enough.
All right, so out of the shadows, a body gets thrown and slams through the window, does like a little roll, and gets up, and it is a person you two have never seen before in your life.
George proceeds
roll
to
me-
get-
Roll me an insight check.
Oh no, because he's alive. He looks like how he did when he was alive.
Oh, I have not ever drawn George alive.
I didn't realize this is what he looked like until you said this, but an insight. Oh, I just clicked George just on accident. I was like, why is my insight 0? That's not correct.
Yeah, don't forget to roll Basil's.
Insight. and then I had known I rolled yet, and then in sight. Oh no!
You did
Oh,
very
no.
good.
Oh, I got 20. I only saw Basil's roll until I moved the sheets out of the way.
So yeah, you're able to recognize him, and you're like George, and Basil like does like a second look, and then he's able to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that would be him.
Yeah.
And out from the window that's shattered, you start to see some specters coming out. They are dressed very similar to George.
Oh, George, you're looking a lot better than you usually do. I'm not gonna lie.
George spits out a tube and then rolls up his sleeve. All right, you sons of bitches. Looks over to Blair and Blair. Oh my god! And the small boy. It's just like, oh, hey, wait, did you guys die?
No. We were sent here to the afterlife, thanks to the Pope, the good one. That just to try to see if what we could do to rescue you, considering you just were like horribly murdered out of literally nowhere.
Yeah, thanks to these bozos. Points the group inside the Denny's.
I mean, it's very possible it somehow was due to these guys, but that's what we're here to try to figure out.
Oh yeah, we wouldn't have the
They're coming
context.
out. They say. Sorry, I'm saying they come out and they say, "Hey, those guys are still alive." And then one of the other guys says, "Well, I heard that if you kill somebody who's alive, you become alive." And all of a sudden, people throughout the line all kind of like look over. You can kind of tell like they're like looking, and then they look and they see the small dragon. Because Basil's in dragon form here.
Oh.
And it seems like most of the people in the line stay there. But a couple of the more brave souls do kind of come out and join the pirates, and so if I can get you guys to roll me a quick religion check.
Religion. Oh, the thing I got advantage on, or not advantage, but proficiency with recently. Oh, that's insane. Oh, there's no way. We both rolled it. We both like nat 20. That's insane.
Yeah. Both you and Basil are immediately like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. There's absolutely no reason for it to function that way. If it was, that'd be a big deal and everybody would know about it. You guys are a bunch of idiots. And also, whatever is, like, George more than likely just needs to go back to his spot in line, and that would fix it. Like, seeing everything here, seeing like how the lines work, what's probably keeping him from being able to be brought back is that he never got in the line in the first place. But you also get the feeling that this probably isn't the line that he was supposed to be in. Because you got a nat 20, so I'll just let you know. You have to take him back.
Wait. So the issue is that because he skipped the line to begin with, that's what's messing with him being able to come back. And what was the other main thing you were saying specifically? That was what was confusing me.
So the line that's going through the Denny's is not the line that he started in. He needs to go back to the original line.
Because he was like moved farther in line, or because there's
it's kind of hard to tell if this is the same line or an entirely different line. It's kind of infinite, so it may not matter.
Are there multiple lines?
He was taken off to the side, and he was put through. I mean, technically, your characters don't know this, but George knows this. So when you bring it up to him, be like, "Hey, we got to get you back into his original line." He'll tell you. He went through like a manhole and climbed down, and then the gravity switched, and then he climbed up, and there was a new line here. So it's a whole new line. He needs to go back to his.
I'm looking up art of what I think George would have looked like, and this is the closest I would get.
Let me.
What the fuck?
Oh, with the big everything. Oh,
Yeah, no, George, still pale, but not deathly pale. But it's because he's a ginger.
He looks like a paler King Neptune from SpongeBob.
I wouldn't have guessed him being a ginger, but that makes a lot of sense.
you can't eat fish and you're a ginger, for shame.
Yeah.
Hey, I still have a very good. I can hold that stuff in my stomach and then regurgitate it.
Everyone in the line is like, "Why?"
Ugh.
For smuggling.
One guy's like, "Oh, I guess that does kind of make a little bit of sense."
It's still
I
gross.
mean,
Don't
we
you have,
don't
like,
talk about
pockets?
this. We don't talk about butt pocket Larry over here. Points out one of his crew members. Promise you wouldn't tell anyone.
I'm done with being your butt pocket. You're gonna be my butt pocket when we're done with you. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Continue,
Okay.
Tom. I'm sorry for doing that joke.
No. You're fine. So many ghosts. And George, like that's what he looks like, but he's also like a little bit transparent. And there are, many ghosts, all out for blood. What would you like to do? Would you like to just straight up fight them and see if you can dissipate them? Would you like to run away? What do you do?
So we have a dragon, though.
You do.
I feel like if these guys are so like, these guys are so dumb that they will not they're too stupid to know when to give up. So I think some ass whooping is in order just to make them like fully aware of how out of their league they are. And also to get them to just fuck off.
Yeah, no.
And I think with the three of us here, I think we can do it for sure.
Throw some hints with pirates.
Did you get ghost guns?
Are you telling me you came here without ghost guns?
I have my ghost gun. I probably have what would have been. Actually, wait. Did I come with weapons, or do I just have?
You reach into your pockets, and you do not have the stuff that you had this most recent time that you quote unquote died. You do have the stuff that you died with the first time. So you've got a pistol and a cutlass, but they're not your normal ones that you've been using in the game.
Oh.
Oh.
Huh. Blair, we got a problem.
Yeah, what's up?
But you have all of your normal equipment. So does Basil.
Oh, wait. I don't have my.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have it because they died with it.
Right.
You did not die with this.
Well, we didn't die, but yeah.
Yeah, it's more like your astral projection, really. And
No, their whole bodies were sent.
Oh, okay.
Or like
I forgot. We just got poofed here, like literally.
Oh, I thought their
Slay-
bodies were still up here.
It was like they like went into like a trance, and so there is a body there, but it's like a physical copy of a body is there too. Like everybody else is kind of like spiritual; they're solid. Like when you touch themselves, you're flesh and bones. Whereas George is like actually a soul and is ghostly. Everything else there is ghostly, whereas you're solid. So
Okay.
you have an exact replica of your body there.
George
Whereas
does not.
whereas George does not. George, your soul and body look exactly the way they do the first time you died, and so you have the stuff that you were wearing at that time.
So Blair, issue.
Yeah.
I don't have my magic sword, any of my magic swords.
Okay, yeah, but you can still like smite stuff, right?
Yeah, I can still smite. I can still sneak attack. I feel like a nerf, though. Not my usual arsenal.
Well, weren't you like a pirate captain? Surely your gun can't be that bad, right?
It fires off and hits somebody.
I was gonna say, there's just like this intense. There's like just this intense flashback to like several naval battles that he's been in, where he pulls the trigger and the gun explodes in his face. It's like very clearly these are different battles happening at different times.
George tries to use his sword, like use his rapier. It like when it collides with an enemy sword, it just like straight up ends. Like like going back into shape, it just bent.
Oh, okay. I'm judging Vietnam War flashbacks written all over your face. I have a feeling that this equipment is not very up to snuff, huh?
No, but it's bargain at best.
Jesus Christ. Okay. What did you even spend your money on? Weren't you guys somewhat successful pirates?
Define successful.
Oh.
I was
That's why we're killing him. Again.
I mean, before they killed you.
One of the pirates is like, we couldn't even afford Taco Tuesday.
What kind of pirate captain can't afford Taco Tuesday? Any captain worth his salt can afford Taco Tuesday.
I had a fish allergy and all we had was fish.
Oh my god. You're lucky you're not allergic to meat.
Hold on.
One of the guys in the back says,
my ghost breaks out.
one of the guys in the back said, well, also just admitted to embezzling, so maybe we were more successful than we thought.
Wait, you stole all their money and you still couldn't afford better equipment? What were you using that money on, George?
Retirement.
Oh my gosh, the one time you're a responsible spender.
Yep, nope, got me killed.
George, roll me a history check.
Okay. Oh boy.
Me? Or just George?
Just George.
So now that you're in your spiritual form and you've got connected with your old mind and your body, you get a rush of memories flooding back that you had kind of lost being a reborn. You know, you didn't have like a full set of all of your memories from life. Like you can kind of piece some things together, and you kind of realize that you do have all of those things together, but you cannot remember which bank you deposited the money at.
Of all the times to remember.
Yeah. You're like, you remember the face of the guy, you remember the different plans, you do like some quick calculating of interest, and you realize it's going to be a lot of money, and you're like, but man, I cannot remember for the life of me which bank I deposited it at.
George, we're gonna talk about this again later, I swear to God.
Hey, like, you're one to talk little beside perfect in no matter what way.
I mean, you're not wrong, but that's besides the point, George. That has nothing to do with your terrible spelling.
To be fair, my crew ain't wise either.
I can kind of tell, given, everything we've seen.
One of them says, yeah, I mean, we're so dumb, we've just let you guys talk instead of jumping you this entire time.
Oh, yeah, that's also true.
I mean, I'm just more amused that you're in on the conversation.
Well, it's kind of rude to interrupt, you know?
Oh, then anyway, George just pulls out a gun and shoots one of the ghosts.
You shoot him in the heart, and he, grips it, and, spectral blood starts to come out, and he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't think that this would happen to us! And, he collapses on the ground, and, looks like he's no longer... It's kind of hard to tell, being conscious while you're kind of see-through, but he's not moving anymore.
Wait, did you just kill him?
Yeah, right. He was gonna kill us. Or at
You
least
can do that? I was gonna ask that question. I mean, we're gonna find out one way or another.
George looks... So, what happens to his body if he dies, when he dies?
Everybody is kind of looking around. The person that brought you over to here is still inside of the Denny's. So there's no authority figure here. Everything else is just a bunch of ghosts, and they're all looking around, being like, "Well, we have no idea. It's never happened before."
No one's gotten into a fight in the line?
They say, "Well, yeah, but I mean, this guy's not moving." We rough each other up, you know.
I want to say
Usually people come in and they break it up before that happens. But remember, we paid them off not to be here.
Oh, can I just shoot one of the pirates and see what happens?
All right. For this one, roll your attack.
All right, give me 1 second. Wrong sheet. That was Basil. Okay, here I am. Wait. This is also Basil. What is going on? Sheets, stop doing this. Okay. Sorry. Apologies.
I just want to point out.
That I imagine. Yeah.
There is a goddess of death in this world who's sort of the main one who's responsible for the initial collection of those who pass on. But, as soon as you get in the line, that's the responsibility of her processors. Or its processors. And you guys paid those guys off, so they will not be assisting in any way.
So you shoot him, and it hits him, and he same kind of thing, right in the heart, and he starts screaming oh no, I've been got, and then he kind of looks down, and it's the bolt is just slowly moving through his body, it's going through almost like a sludge, and then it just starts to pop out the other side, and then just keep going, and he kind of looks down, and he looks up, and he's like, well, that hurt a lot, but it looks like he's still standing.
Oh. Can I tell if this is because he just has the health and the endurance to survive it, or if it's because... Is there an insight roll you can check or something like that?
Yeah, it's a religion check.
Oh, very interesting. I'm gonna.
And I will say you've rolled 2 nat 20s and a 19, so...
I'm gonna cast guidance on myself for this. Oh. And then the D4. Oh man, 21. That's so cool. Anyway, so...
Yeah, you get the feeling that it's just because normal weapons don't affect them. It seems like it's doing some damage because it's a magical weapon. So you probably could kill one of them with this. But it'd be a lot for you to try and take out this mob.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Like Austin is a ghost gun. Yours is still a normal gun.
So his absolutely shit weapon is a higher DPS weapon, significant, because ghost types are super effective against ghost types.
Yeah. Basically.
What did you say?
He said, basically, but his connection was so dog shit that I understand that if you couldn't hear him.
Okay. Hello?
Did we all drop?
I think we all
I
dropped.
was definitely
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's recording.
Well, it wouldn't have affected the according other than Tom sounding like shit for like a moment. He's
Yeah,
back
Yeah.
now.
So sorry,
Well,
what
that's
was your
good.
response, Tom?
I saw everybody like drop one by one, and my thing showing like I was getting like no service, and I was like, "Oh, this is odd. Must be a Discord thing." What was the last thing you heard me say?
I was saying the whole thing about like how his gun is, despite being enormously shitty, it does more damage because ghost types are super effective against ghost types. And then you tried to say something, then you exploded.
Yeah. So you shot two of them, and the mob's going to go and attack you guys now. So we're gonna do like party versus mob initiative, so we don't have to roll for anything. And the the mob's just going to attempt to attack you. Hold up a second. All right, so first attack is going to go after Basil, and that's a nat 20.
Oh no.
Second attack is going to go after George. Does a 22 hit?
Um,
You can treat your armor classes the same.
My AC was once 21, and now it is. Yep, that hits.
Okay. And then last one. Oh, does a dirty 20 hit you?
Me?
No. Steven.
Sorry, a 20?
Yeah,
Not with shield, which I'll cast.
nice.
Una memento. Excuse me. Shield.
All right, so with the shield, you're able to avoid the damage. Basil takes 22 damage, and this is it's necrotic damage. George, you also take this damage. Normal resistances and immunities don't apply. For you, you get the feeling that it's almost like you're taking non-lethal damage, though.
How many damage? How much damage?
13.
Yeah.
And you're being surrounded by mostly pirates.
Mostly.
Mostly. All right. Then let me add a. Do I even have a rapier? No, I do not. Okay, so let me add that. Sorry, it's just because of the new edition, there's apparently changes to the
Roll20.
yeah, and doesn't want to add stuff now because we aren't using the fancy new edition. I have issues with fancy new edition, but that's beside the point. All right, so is it free initiative at this point, Tom, or?
Yeah, we're swapping back and forth. And after this turn of you guys, we're gonna swap back to
Okay.
Cinna and the real world.
Okay. Then George is going to shoot with his gun. And there's an 18 hit one of the pirates.
Yeah, roll damage.
14 on the sneak attack because swashbuckler. 21 to the pirates.
Nice. You do like a you fire, and you take out one, and then it takes out the guy behind him too.
I'm gonna then use my rapier and attack the next person. Rush in to attack the next person. There's a 14 hit.
Yep.
Okay, then let me ignore the bonus. It should just be 2, but I'm using smite. One of my spell slots for smite. So that's additional 14 damage on top of the 2, so 16 overall. 14 of that.
So when you do the initial damage, and you pierce in, you feel like you're not even doing normal piercing damage. It feels like you're doing more similar like what the other ghosts are doing, that it's necrotic.
Mm-hmm.
But then you fire your divine smite through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of like chain lightnings between like a couple of different ones, these bolts of radiant energy. And it seems like it knocks out more of them than you would have expected.
Oh. Nice. Also, they technically count as undead, so the damage calculation was correct. So.
And it seems like a couple of them are like stepping a little bit back. Some of them are losing a little bit of morale. Do you do anything else?
I'm gonna move back. I'm gonna find the. I'm gonna move
They're kind of like swarming you, so there's not really a place that you can like run to go hide. But you could try and like run to go to like back to that manhole cover that you were at before.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to like that manhole cover and like try to lead Blair like this way.
And you used your bonus action to attack this turn, right? Or was that
I
just
used my bonus
attack?
action. I used my bonus action.
Okay. So if you try and run away, you'll take an attack of opportunity. Is that okay?
Then I'm just gonna point to it and keep my ground. Then, if this is gonna be the case.
Okay. And Blair.
Sorry, I made myself an accent. Yes.
You're up.
Yeah. So do we know if magic would do more damage to them than my weapon itself?
It seems likely.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw a scalding hydra ball at the biggest cluster of pirates I can see.
Do they have to make a save?
I believe so. It's fireball, by the way. It's a scalding water version of fireball.
Roll damage. They failed.
Nice. Oh, I'm so sorry. You said roll damage. You just I only heard the they failed part. I apologize. You cut out there. So sorry. 34.
So because like the wall of the Denny's is kind of like close, you blow off part of the wall too. Most of the people in the back have just been like drenched, and it's weird because like the water moves kind of like slowly through their spectral bodies, um it's not like their water just immediately falls off them, but it's also like their bodies aren't holding on to the water, and so you just see these steam coming out of them in all directions as the water slowly moves down their body. They don't look very happy about this. A couple of them don't even get up at all, though. And what do you want Basil to do?
Oh, actually, I wanted to use my what is it? I want to use a sorcery point to use meta magic quicken spell. Or I guess 2 sorcery points. Excuse me. To throw another fireball.
So most of the ones in the back you've already taken off. You could launch it because like your guys are being swarmed all around you. If you kind of like launched it at your feet, it would hit all of them. But then it would also hit you guys.
You know
what? Basically what I'm saying is it'd be less effective the second time because the area of effect you've already knocked out most of them in that area.
You know what? Yeah, I think doesn't Basil have fire resistance, or am I insane?
You are insane.
I was gonna say I'm guys.
He has a bunch of resistances, but I don't remember if he has fire or not.
He does have a bunch of resistances.
It's poison. Good. Poison's his thing.
Okay. I knew he had poison, I just didn't remember if he had more than that.
He's immune to poison damage, the poison condition, and he resists radiant damage.
Oh, okay, it was radiant. That was the other one. Yeah. I don't know. I'll throw a fireball at her feet because I think George is away from us though, so he won't take the damage.
No, he definitely would, but he's got his rogue stuff.
I only have like. Give me a second. I see how many levels. 4 levels of rogue. I don't even have evasion.
Wow. You'll be fine.
Steven, are you sure you want to do the fireball on me?
It's not really on you. It's on. It's like taking one for the team, you know.
Hey, remember how you came here to save George? It's real funny.
Oh yeah, you know you're kind of right about that.
Yeah, no, it'd be real funny that if George just dies on his way back to you trying to revive him. A real funny moment for the gang, and definitely would not piss anyone off in the party currently alive.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would be that upset by it, but like, it happens.
No, definitely not.
Oh no.
We wouldn't kill Blair at all. What are you talking about?
Shovel.
I wouldn't be mad. I'd just be disappointed.
I would just be disappointed.
No,
I'd be mad.
Oh wait, wait.
Yeah.
George is also a ghost. Never mind. I forgot about this. So he might actually implode.
Yes. Think about what you're doing for at least 5 seconds.
Yeah, so maybe in that case, let's not do that, In that case, yeah, can we, instead of that, I'm just going to cast, Mouse Minute Megalodons instead,
Okay.
and then use those to launch at some pirates next to us, because I can actually control that.
Okay.
I will throw out 2 of them as it allows me to. Oh, wait a second. Interesting. I just realized that I, for some reason, don't have melts on my damage thingy somehow. Interesting. What is the thing for it? It is. How much damage does it say it is? It's 2d6 fire on a failed save. And so that's 2 of them.
And you cast this at 3rd level.
Yeah.
Correct?
So the question is, do they make the spell save? If not, then I'll roll my 2d6s of damage.
Well, they'll still take it no matter what, so you can roll. So I rolled 2.
So 11 and 7.
Oh, okay. I'm really sorry. The first one got a nat 20, and then the second one takes the full damage. He failed to save.
You'll love to see it.
Love to see it.
I like to imagine that the one that dodged out of the way is actually not like one of the crew. It's one of the people who were just in the line who came out. And he looks like he's like a gladiator. He looks pretty tough.
Wait, George, is that guy part of your crew?
Looks. Oh no, he's in shape. I don't know. I've never heard that guy.
I was about to say, he looks kind of confident to be a member of your crew.
All my crew were scurvy-ridden bastards like myself. George smiles.
He says,
"It's disgusting to you."
he says, "I'm gonna fish person and get another shot at life." He says.
God damn it!
At least honest in his motives, I guess.
He says, well, look, that's how I lived my life. I was a slave in the Colosseum, and I got to live another day as long as I killed something. So for me, this is really just the same continuation of the living hell that I lived. Why do I want to go back there? I don't even know.
It's just for a love of the sport, honestly.
He says, really, this line's very boring.
I'm sorry, and now you know my cool fucking backstory.
Yep. You just got random ghost backstory number 1.
God.
Way to go.
Next up, it's Basil.
So question, while he's in, like, dragon form, Does he have any other like crazy abilities?
His breath weapon's probably a lot stronger. And he's got melee attacks that I definitely remembered to stat out accurately and that are not on his sheet because they're in my head, definitely.
Do we just add like plus 12 to the roll and like plus 10 damage?
But his no, I'll look up a thing real quick for it. I kind of knew where I wanted him to be. I just forgot to do it. But his breath weapon's stronger. Well, we'll say that it's an additional. Yeah, it's an additional 2d6 off of what's listed there. The big difference is that no, never mind. Yeah. An additional 2d6, and then the DC check is 2 higher as well.
Oh, okay. So allow me to wait. Where is this ability? Is it in his spells? No.
It's listed on the side of the thing. And
I see.
under dragon stuff.
It's just a DC 14 con throw?
Yeah, so that to go up by 2, so it'd be D16. And then instead of it being 66, it's 8d6.
Okay, sorry. So it's 8d6 damage?
Yes.
Okay. So you're saying to roll damage?
Oh, so you want to use the flame breath?
Oh yeah, the poison breath, yeah.
All right. So first they have to make their save. And they fail. So yeah, roll the damage. Are you choosing poison or radiant?
Oh, let's do radiant. Wow, he rolled kind of low. Anyways. Wait, that was 6d8. That's not 8d6. Is that the same? I don't know. What do you want me to
No. Re-roll it. 8d6.
So is it, what's the command to roll? And I apologize. /R?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what is it? Is it space and then the roll?
Yeah, it's /R and then space and then you roll.
6d.
Funny enough, you actually don't even need the space. But
wait, no, 8d6. 8d6, excuse me.
Yes.
28. Oh, okay, cool. Roll more.
All right. He breathes out some blinding light, and it goes through a good amount of them. The guy that was just talking to you gets hit, and he goes down.
The gladiator guy?
Yeah. He says, "This is how I died in the ring too. Darn dragon's breath."
Oh my god.
Yeah, goodbye, Mr. Backstory.
Mr. Backstory.
Please, Mr. Backstory was my father. You can call me General Lore.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. So let's pan back to the people that have been waiting patiently in the real world.
I was playing tic-tac-toe with myself.
Yeah. So while this is all going on, like this is basically like that. This was them catching up to where you guys were. Like it hadn't been that long that you guys were having that conversation. And so at about this time, a servant, one of the lower clergy people, come into the room, and they're holding a box with a fine piece of cloth stretched over the top, and they put it down in front of you. They say a quick prayer, and then they remove the cloth, and there's a small orb there. And the Pope comes over and he says, "Well, let's see how they're doing. And he puts some magic into it. He says a prayer himself, and it shoots up, and you see Basil just raining light, fire, whatever it is,
Yeah,
on a
this,
bunch of ghosts.
it cuts to our
Um,
faces. It's just a big light blind
yeah,
us.
Mm-hmm.
and so the Pope says, well, "All right, this is good. Once they get him out of there, I can cast Speak with Dead. We can talk to him
Okay.
about going through that process." Um, he says, "We might even be able to use this to influence events here. This is a device used for speaking with the dead generally. Um, I've never tried to use it to contact somebody who was living but in the ghost realm. Um, since we have some living people there, the connection should be stronger. To the point that we may be able to open a small portal, and he basically says, and chuck things through."
Why would we do that?
He says, "Well, you can throw a spear and you can throw some spells. You can help out your friends."
I mean,
Oh, cool.
I guess that would help.
He says, "All right, look, if you guys don't want to do it, I can take the magic orb away."
No, I'm just saying, like, it seems pretty irresponsible to do that to the dead. Like, haven't they already suffered enough,
I mean, I'm willing to pollute the afterlife.
He looks into them, and he says, "None of them look like Simic hybrids, so they're probably not from
That
Aethervathy."
that doesn't mean anything.
He looks genuinely confused. He's like, "Oh wait, I thought that's what we were talking about."
No, that's
Yeah, I don't want to hurt the faithful either, but these are clearly heathen.
yeah, no, you. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're the fucking worst. All right, yeah, let's.
What?
Let's,
Okay. So we can use this little thing to send stuff over there.
He says, yeah, either that or it'll explode.
Okay. Question. If I touch one of these guys here and do something, do you think that it would transfer over to the other side?
He says, well, like if you put your hand in there, it's probably just gonna show up on the other side.
No, I'm saying if I touch on one of their bodies and I cast a spell or something.
Oh, like on one of your friends' bodies?
Yeah.
So he looks in and he says, so funny enough, he's like, oh well, like we're like the orb's kind of fixed in place, so we can't move it around. How far can you reach?
I use my if I use my tattoo, I got 20 feet on me. 20 feet on me. I can just stretch it out, make my hands extra long.
He says, well, yeah, that'll work. This would theoretically let us send you guys in, except for the fact that, like I said, if you try and put too much through this, it'll probably explode. So just be careful, he says.
Okay.
Yeah. So we gotta be limiting. Trying to think of a good spell to send in there. I mean, can they hear us?
He says, honestly, I've never done this before, so I don't know.
Sucks. Alright.
He says, this is not a normal situation. We would not be able to do this if it wasn't for the fact that George's soul couldn't be connected to, like that's not natural, he says.
Remember we
It's
had
caused a lot of unique scenarios that wouldn't be possible otherwise.
Like, what I want to do is reach in there and spam my bolster to give Blair back spell slots.
Yeah,
Because I can give like a first, second level, or third level spell slot. It depends on what the roll is.
He says, "All right, well, let's give it a go."
All right. So like, I'll try it.
So
So what am I doing?
first, well, so you do the ability, you send your arm through. Highs or lows?
Highs. Can we get much higher?
Can't we get much higher?
All right, you go through. You can do the ability.
All right.
Hey guys, do you think this joke's ever going to be tired?
No.
Yeah,
Shut
no.
the
Never
fuck
is.
up.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so
Might be.
I'll use one to give her a second level spell slot, and I'll use one to just do the plus D3 on rolls for 10 minutes. If I can
Blair,
stack it. I don't know.
You feel bolstered. Um, did you use the second level or lower spell slot? Blair?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you use the second level or lower spell slot?
Because like you used
Yeah.
shield once, so I thought you would have.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Well, so then you get one of those back.
Nice.
And you turn around upon feeling it, and coming out what appears to be like out of nothing, you see an elongated and stretched arm that's very clearly Cinna's.
Oh, Cinna?
And then it jolts back.
I give a thumbs up and then I joke back.
Thank you, Cinna. However you did that.
Lunu, what would you like to do?
Sorry, what?
Lunu?
Lunu, how badly hurt are you guys?
Not at all.
I only lost the 13 HP.
Let me see. Anyone giving you problems?
How many more pirates do we have?
It's hard to tell. You've definitely taken out a little over half.
So,
But some of them that are still there are like beat up, like it's not like it's exactly 50-50.
Let's do this. Let's use Moonbeam.
What?
I haven't used Moonbeam in a while. What's a good direction? Where's the most I can capture in a 10-foot diameter? How many could I catch?
There's a couple of sections nearby George that have a higher than average concentration.
Okay. If you can keep them in place, they'll take 2d10 radiant damage. I mean, they'll take it now, but if you keep them there on my next turn, they'll take it again. So they have to roll a DC 20 con save.
Ooh, they got close actually, but they did fail. So they take the full 13 damage, and like I said before, it seems to be very effective.
Yeah. I fucking thought. But yeah, no, that's good. At least. And then that's probably it for my turn here.
Okay. First, highs and lows.
Highs.
All right, next. It's the enemy's turn. And one of the pirates that's still standing. It actually looks like he's taken a couple of the hits. Walks up. He's a bigger guy, and he's holding a small ghost-like cannon in his arms. You want to give me a random crewmate name on your crew, Austin? Like I said, it's a bigger guy. He's holding a little hand cannon.
It's a
Spontaneous
big guy.
Michael.
Let's see.
IBS Bobby.
IBS Bobby. Ooh, that's a good one.
Scurvy sucker.
I was gonna say, do we want to go with Bobby?
Austin, it's your choice.
Hold on, I got it. Blind and reckless. He's blind, but he's using a hand cannon.
So he comes up, and you know this guy. He's never hit a shot in his life. Well, you guys called him reckless, but really it's more of the ill-advised. But you notice something strange.
Oh.
Because at this point you're not even in a him as you're fighting everything, and then out of the corner of your eye, it almost looks like he's pointing the gun right at you. And then you remember, well, you've gained a lot of flesh after dying.
Oh,
And you look up at his two eye patches that he has over.
Do they all fall off and they reveal perfectly functioning eyes?
He flips them up, and you see two beautiful eyes. Some of the most beautiful, stunning eyes you've ever seen. He says, they call me Hawkeye now.
No one calls you that.
Oh yeah. Everybody's like, no, we don't. And he's gonna take a shot at you. Oh, does an 18 hit?
Nope.
So he fires, and you kind of like sidestep out of the way. It goes firing beyond you. Oh, that's pretty good. And so it hits a wall behind you, and I don't know if you want to give him another one-liner about him missing.
We told you that was ill-advised.
Yeah.
Told you that was ill-advised.
So next up, a guy comes up. This is looks like to be not a member of your crew. It's another member from the line that came out. This guy is like dressed head to toe like he's a cowboy. He's got a really big cowboy hat on. He's got the big cowboy boots, and he's got this big lasso. And he's gonna try and lasso Basil.
Oh no.
You guys were using lassos on a pirate ship?
No, this is just another person from the line.
Oh.
That's also why he's targeting you guys.
Oh, no,
Rather, because he has no reason to go after George, but he thinks that if he kills one of you, he'll gain life again.
Basil, watch out! It's a cowboy. It's a pirate's worst enemy. Cowboys.
So he like throws the lasso up, and Basil kind of just like hits it to the side with his wing, and he says, well, I mean, he doesn't seem very tough to me. Basil says, I think you guys will be fine. And then last, we have two people running towards Blair. These just look like two ordinary farmers. There's not really much to say about them. They looks like they were humans in their life. One of them's got a pitchfork, and the other has a scythe. And they're just gonna run at you.
Oh.
Does an 18 hit?
Let me see. Sorry. Juggling machines. It does, but I'm gonna use shield again.
So they just start to pop up. You pop up the shield, and their weapons just bounce right off of it.
Nice try, is what I would say if it was.
The two farmers kind of look at each other, and then they look back at you, and they're like, "Can we just go back in the line?" Like, are you guys cool with that? Like, you're not gonna attack us when our back's turned?
You know, if you guys just leave like right now, then yeah, that's less work for us.
All right, they jog back over to the line.
They're like, well, we shot our shot.
Yeah. They're like, it was a good go. So they go back to the line, and so yeah. Next up, it is party's turn. For the most part, like, you've got like this big blinding moonbeam that's like the people inside of it aren't even like able to get out. They're just gonna die at this point. And there are still a few pirates left, but you get the feeling that you have done a pretty good job of breaking their morale. You can try and finish them off, but you're also making a lot of commotion, and you're worried that, you know, if somebody ends up showing up, that could cause some problems. So you can completely try and wipe them out, or you can start making moves to run. You're fairly confident they won't be able to overwhelm you. You've done a pretty significant damage. That if you did try and run, you'd be able to get away. But if you really wanted to take out the rest of your crew, you could do that now if you wanted.
George, what do you think?
Let's blow him. Let's blow this popsicle stand. You think death can hold me back? I'm living forever.
About that.
You do have in the back of your mind a quick thought, and whether or not you decide to go down this train of thought is up to you. This is probably your last opportunity to try and, like, you know, communicate with the remainder of your crew and be like, hey, you know, like, if you wanted to reconnect with them, now is the time to do it. But if you're like, nah, I hate these guys hate me, eternal grudge, I'm okay with. That's your decision.
On one hand, I kind of feel sorry for you, but now thinking about it, now really freaking about it.
Well,
I
You
hope you bastards
did
run in
kill me
hell.
twice.
I hope you bastards run in hell. I kick open the manhole, like fucking kick flip it open, and then dive in with middle fingers, jumping in.
Nice. So Blair and Basil, you're both able to pretty easily follow. At one point, you look back as you're like climbing down. What happens when George gets to the part where the gravity flips is he like keeps falling for a little bit and then slows down and then starts falling in the other direction and then just keeps doing that until eventually you reach equilibrium and you're able to grab back onto the onto the ladder. As you guys are going in, Basil kind of has to like squeeze in order to get through, and you can see behind him that like one of his like on his little tail there's a lasso, and the cowboy is holding on, getting dragged.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Would you like to try and either kill this cowboy or convince him to stop?
I'm I'm slightly impressed that he's managed to hang on this entire time.
It wasn't very far.
I mean, he still also didn't get crushed by Basil's massive, like, body the entire time. It's like, what? But my guy, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
He says, "Look, man, this line is real boring."
I mean, you're not wrong. Have you tried? Well, here's a possibility, my good sir. Have you ever heard of a place called the Fathom-Flooded Skies?
Hyzelos.
You know what?
To tell him to spare him this.
Highs.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining no, and I never will. Fucking walks away.
He says, "Yeah, I heard of it."
Sorry, what?
He says, "Yes."
Oh! Blair starts like falls onto her knees in pure surprise and starts to weep. You have no idea how long I've been waiting for someone to say yes to that question.
Okay, now you're desperate. I'm leaving.
He has the ability. Well, the great Aquatech Nimbysius, master of the Fathom-Flooded Skies, can actually take you out of the line.
He says, "Well, yeah, that's the rumor that goes around up here. But apparently, in order for that to happen, you have to die at sea.
I mean,
and I died when my ostrich fell over."
Like, Lunu listening in, that's not how that works.
I mean, were you at sea level?
He says, maybe probably a little bit higher.
That's kind of close enough.
He says, "I didn't live like close to the ocean, but like there's definitely some elevation."
Maybe. I mean, maybe it could still work.
Has he ever been in a lake before?
Is that
My
true?
mother was
Have you
killed
ever
by a
been
lake.
to the ocean
No.
or in the lake before?
He says, "Look, if that was something that would work, all right, It would have already happened.
Sorry, Tom, you cut out what?
He says, "Oh, look, if that was all that it took,
Tom?
it would have been out. There are plenty of people who've died at sea
I can
who've still
hear him.
been here." Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
This is on Steven now.
Hello?
Can you
Yep.
hear us?
Oh, I died. You
Yes.
said, well, if that was something that would work, and then I died.
Yeah. He says, if that's something that would work, there'd be a lot less people here. There are plenty of people who died at sea that wasn't able to go, but there's a rumor that some people that did die at sea didn't show up into the line, and that some new god was pulling them out, or some sort of weird thing. I don't know what it is, but all I know is that people have been calling it the Fathom Flooded Skies.
Well, the good news is that it's not everyone who dies at sea or gets plucked out. It could simply be the case that, and we could try this, is that it's believers in the Fathom Flood Sky. Are the ones
Just try
who
it out. It's a theory. Game theory.
So if you want, you could just like, if you pledge yourself to Nimbicius, it's possible he could still just like pluck you out, and then you not be stuck in this line forever, and then he'll like keep you in this like underwater paradise until it's actually your time to pass on.
He says, well, look, as I follow already canonically in this world Jesus Christ, I'm afraid I can't switch sides. If I can't get new life here, I guess I'll just go wait back in the line, and eventually he'll come and get me out.
Oh.
He says, "Do you guys have any like books or like something to like pass the time with?"
Do we?
One of the attendants comes back. No. He leaves.
Well, no. He's asking you guys because you guys have physical things.
Oh.
What did you bring with you? What was on your person?
That's a great question. Let me check my hilariously long inventory list.
And then highs or lows?
Highs.
Basil has a math textbook.
A math textbook.
And the guy picks it up and like looks at it like, this is new. He says, I'll tell you what. Is there anything else that you can give me? If you got one more thing, I'll take it. I'll leave you guys alone. I won't bother you anymore. I'll go back to the line. I'll read through this a couple hundred times, and then I'll trade it for something else.
Let me see. I'm looking through all of my stuff.
Yeah, no, Lunu wouldn't bring it.
Are we still like watching? We could throw something in.
I do have a textbook. Called.
Yeah.
I do have. I think it might be like technically a cookbook called "The Joy of Tea" in my inventory.
Yeah, I don't remember what that
I
is.
got this from that one submarine captain who was.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Yeah, do you want to give that to him?
Yeah.
All right. He takes a look at it and he's like, "Well, this is the best thing that I've ever gotten." And he says, I would have preferred if it was coffee. But this will fetch a good price on the back and forth trading that we do in the line. And he goes down and he says, I got a couple of extra one of these. So here you can have one of these. And he tosses you a ghost whip.
Oh,
And then he climbs back up towards the line.
thank you, kind sir. I wish you as good of a time as you can in this line. Good luck to you.
He kind of like looks like you just insulted him, and then he goes back to climbing.
God damn it! I don't know what the fuck to say to him. It sucks.
It's like an awkward thing. All right, so you go down, and George, you get back in the line that you were supposed to be in and set things right. And then Blair and Basil are pulled back out, and the Pope brings the orb over to George's body, and he says, well, now we can use this the correct way, the way that isn't going to cause it any strain. And he says a quick prayer over it, and a little bubble appears. Then this time, George, you can see the bubble. And on the other side, you see everybody, and everybody you can see George, and you can talk back and forth. And he says, so this is basically, it functions like the the spell to, like, question the dead and that kind of thing. It's got a word limit. The word limit's only on his side. But unlike the other one, he's got his full consciousness. He could lie to us, whereas like normal speak with dead, you wouldn't be able to. But for this purpose, it's okay. We, that he, he can talk to us. So George, he says, you have a total of 16 words you can say. And then he explains, we can put your body through the, into Aethervathy, and possibly repair part of it and turn you into a Simic hybrid. This would look really good, because it's, in a lot of ways, a miracle that we'd turn a reborn into a Simic hybrid. But it would be kind of random what happens. Or we could just bring you back normally. What would you prefer?
Normal.
Wait, not an undead?
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, is it what I was before? I would have lived forever.
Fair enough. And he goes over and he casts the spell, and you feel like the world around you kind of gets fuzzy and gets darker and darker and darker until eventually, boop, you pop open your eyes and you sit up, and you're there with all of your friends, and you're back to your decayed but technically immortal life.
Back to your gutted self.
Honestly, would have preferred it any other way. I actually like being undead.
What about the
I will hug him. Can we do a group hug?
Yeah, we do a group hug. I mentioned to George, what about your lack of genitals due to the rot? Or the fact that you'll never be able to feel the touch, the cool breeze of air? Or
I kind of do. It just goes through my eyeholes.
I guess I guess the wind blowing through your skull does cause a little vibration. I've never really
It's like a whistling noise.
It's like a flute.
It's like the death whistle.
It's almost like a theremin. The way the air passes through the soul left through in your body.
God. Are you saying about the touch of a woman?
Oh no, I was just saying that I know I'm not into this, but you'll never be able to get laid if you haven't already. Or
There's other ways of getting laid without genitals.
I never thought about that.
All depends on what you think having sex is.
There's probably a freak out there somewhere. They're gonna be honest.
No, George never kissed. Is going to be able to kiss due to his lack of lips.
True. You
Gotta
get some
be
wax
honest.
ones.
God
Be
no!
honest. Dating not for me. Nothing can keep me down. Absolute freedom. That's my new philosophy.
Grind set. My Sigma grind set. No.
Sex is cool and all, but have you seen this cool frog?
You're.
shows a frog. George picks up off the ground.
One of the lab people grabs this, like, what is this doing out of its container?
Oh no! You remember? You guys are in the church, so like one of like the monks comes over and is like, "Oh, that's my pet."
What are you doing?
He got loose.
What are you doing, Roberto?
It rivets.
Yep, that's right.
But in kind of like I do what I want, don't tell me what to do, father kind of way.
Do what they want. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, either that's what he was saying, or he was just riveting because he was a frog. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah. It just sounds like a frog to me, man. Except, actually, not really. I know speak of animals. And,
so you still have that one guy in jail. The Pope and the leader of the science directorate sit down with you all, and they say, well, now we have a very important question. Do we announce to the world that the assassination attempt was a failure and George is alive? Or do we tell them that he's still dead and hide it?
I mean, how's the word gotten out? We tried, we did what we could to be inconspicuous, but
Well, here's the thing. I think there's already rumors going around that he's dead, and I think that would make us look weak. However, what we could instead do is show that he's completely fine and still, in fact, the canonically strongest member of the Friends of Bubbles. So strong that not even death can contain his fury.
We need to have a funeral for the other guy that we said. We need to have a funeral for like Andrew.
Oh yeah, we need the funeral for the fake bystander.
Wait, who's Andrew? Sorry, who's dead?
Well, so basically they say, well, what story do you want to go with? Do you want to say, like, we had a body double because we anticipated this and that the body double died but not the real George? Or do we want to say that George took the hit and he survived? Do we want to say George took the hit, died, but we got him back? Through magic?
I don't want to say that, like, it was a body double. I want to say that we were hanging out with the dude and then he got shot because this dude was, like, a terrible shot. And he just died.
All right, so yes, you want to say he missed and it was just a bystander who died?
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, fair enough.
That's so funny.
So yeah, so they say, well, we can go along with that. I mean, if this is somebody, like, would this be somebody who, like, wasn't, like, we don't have papers for this person, they say.
I mean,
I guess
help us out, right?
Yeah, I was going to say Fern would be able to help you guys out. but like, so the two of them are basically like, look, we don't want to know. But if that's the story that you go with, we'll validate it. At least on our end. And in order to, we won't go against it. But then, there is the fact that you would lose the fact that then George would become your secret weapon that everybody thinks is dead. And that's the trade-off. You will look like stronger if he's not dead, though. Like there is some positives and negatives there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried that people will try to take advantage of that and then just start wholesale trying to assassinate the rest of us
Yeah.
because now we're weaker without our strongest member.
And it's only a trump card we can use once.
Exactly. I think the risks are far more weighty than the potential reward.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we'd have to keep one of the most conspicuous members of our party a secret for quite a while.
Yeah.
What? I don't stick out like a sore thumb.
You sure do smell out like a sore thumb, though.
Give me one moment, guys. Continue, but I will be right back.
I was gonna say it'd have been really easy to pull this off if he went through and became a Simic hybrid, because then he'd look completely different.
Mm-hmm. I was just wondering what a thumb smells like.
He wanted to experiment so bad.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be a civic hybrid. I'm gonna be real with you.
Look. I spent the first couple sessions subliminally, in some cases directly, like it's not a good time most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
What, to
Like
become
that
a civic
walrus
hybrid?
guy.
Yeah. Like the whole thing was like, like it worked out for him once he found his niche. But there were a lot of risks involved. I would have made you roll on like some charts just to let you know what would have happened for what you would have gotten. And I would have given you like a few like veto powers over like if there was something like you just absolutely didn't want. But it'd be mostly like rolling to see what you got. And
I
it wouldn't
really don't mind being a reborn.
No, yeah. I just I wanted to give you the option. And technically, the rest of the party, there's never been a reborn Triton, definitely. I don't remember if we said that there'd been canonically at least one reborn centaur. I think the answer to that
Or
was
Simic
no.
hybrid.
Oh,
rather
sorry,
than
Simic
reborn.
hybrid. Yes. There have been reborn centaurs because those are in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Oh,
everything that's not like another heritage can become a reborn. Like literally everything. If it can die,
I'll
it can
come
become a
back.
reborn. Yeah.
100%.
But a Simic hybrid is different. I think had the Simic hybrid come out later, like after they had already done the things with, it would have been set up more like a lineage. And then it would be easier to like add those kind of things on.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't have. I guess you could. It just would override it. But yeah. So if any of you, the rest of you wanna try and become a Simic hybrid, you'd be rolling some dice. See what happens.
so any of us could. It's just a gamble since we're not traditional people.
Well, yeah, but like for your character, you'd need to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, because I'm a fish.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
So you're
that
already
we
you're
wouldn't
already
be
mostly
more
there.
receptive to it,
Yeah.
considering it's like, yeah.
You could try and get Basil.
Wait, Basil would have an easier time with it?
Well, I didn't say that. I said you could try it.
I think we're good. I think we'll be fine.
All I can think of is I don't know if you're aware. There's a cartoon based off hit fighting game Darkstalkers that's totally not dead. Um, and in it, they just keep calling the Fishman in that game attractive. Like you're pretty handsome for a fish guy. They just do it every time he shows up. We don't know why.
And this is like a wasn't it like a the DIC or whatever dub as well?
Yes. Yes.
Or dick. So
Dick.
dick.
Let me find.
Well, now that you're back,
Yep.
I think this is a good point for us to start to wind down. But I did want to start one more thing before we did, and that is the person in charge, Dr. Alba, says, while this has all been going on, I sent some people to look in the archives to see if anything pinged, and they looked through, and they did find a piece of information that they wanted me to take a look at. I'm not saying it's a lead currently, but if you wanted to come with me back to the science directorate, we could take a look together.
I guess we could. Yeah, let's
Sure.
take a look.
It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Yes.
All right, so you guys all start heading back towards the science directorate, and I think this is probably a good point to stop. It's a little bit early, but I don't want to get into a whole new thing that will take a while. So, yeah, I guess we'll do some plugs.
Connar.
Hey, I'm Connar /Boosh / I played Lunu this evening. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky, Boosh with 2 zeros at Conjoined Artists. Or I believe it's just Boosh on Blue Sky with 2 zeros instead of O's. You can also find me on the site known as Twitter. I don't post there very much anymore. I don't think anyone is right now. But yeah, no. Join the Discord. We do fun stuff. We'll do fun little activities together. We'll do conjoined casts more often, hopefully. I definitely want to do that more often. I am starting a little bit of a new schedule, so that might affect some games going forward, but we'll see. Anyway, gonna throw this over to Austin. Oh yeah, join the Discord, be our friend, like, comment, subscribe. Austin, you're up.
Hey, you can find me at octo_os on Twitter. But I am on Blue Sky. It's just I'm lurking there right now under this following Octoos. And then we got Tasura.
Yeah, hello. I'm Tasura. I exist. I'm real. I'm a person. I'm just like doing things. So, yeah. Hi. You can't find me anywhere. You won't find me anywhere. Let's go for Steven.
Oh, no. You can find me, or excuse me, hi, I'm Steven /Venty Blair Audina, and you can find me at Venty179 on Twitch and YouTube, and just Venty, VNTY, on Blue Sky. I have in the past week I have made the move. Well, I had the account for a while. I made my official move and have just stopped giving a shit on Twitter because I've been doom scrolling too much and it's making me feel like shit. So now, um, yeah, exactly. Not anymore. I'm on Blue Sky and it's so much better, honestly. But besides that, that's basically it. And with that, we can throw it over to Tom.
Hey there, guys. My name is Tom. If you'd like to find me, I'm on James and the Giant Peach style adventure, but instead of a peach, it's an orange, and instead of a variety of like British and European characters, they're all from different stereotypical parts of Florida. And we are on an adventure. I don't know where we'll end up, but come on down. We've got orange flavored things instead of peach flavored ones.
Yay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yeah,
Good night.